Crime.
Let's get it together.
Education.
Let's get it together.
Marriage.
Let's get it together.
Politics.
Let's get it together. Full circle.
Poverty.
Let's get it together.
Race.
Let's get it together. Full circle. Welcome everyone to the Full Circle podcast show. My name is Darryl E. McCullough, the self-proclaimed sane poet. I'm your host, along with Andre Petty, Whitney Petty, by way of Detroit, raised in Detroit, joining us in Chicago over the phone lines.
Hey, hey.
Hey, what's up, gang?
We also are joined by the lovely co-host Carmen L. Miller.
How are you?
So this is the very first episode of our Full Circle podcast. So I think we should take the time to introduce ourselves to the audience so they can know what to expect.
Well, I tell you what. I'm going to go old school. It's your girl, Carmen Miller, hood bullet to the end. Tell a friend because I'm in the house. Now, my name is Carmen. I'm a singer-songwriter. I am mother of 3, wife of 1, independent thinker, and I sing, therefore I am. I love having great conversations, and I'm really, really happy to be a part of this because this is kind of what we're missing, that sophisticated, nice little banter that, you just don't get everywhere. Something about me, I'm a retired investment banker, and I have a wealth of perspective.
That she does, definitely. Hey, Whitney, you out there?
I'm there.
Tell the people about yourself.
I'm A. Whitney Petty, short A. Whit. Live in Chicago by way of Detroit. I was raised in Detroit, born in Detroit, on the east side. A lot of times people, yeah, right, exactly. A lot of times people, they look at you and you say you're from the east side. They're like, what, really? But my philosophy with that is it doesn't matter where you come from. The only thing that matters is where you end up at. I am a communications major, so this was a great forum for me to express, my views, which I am a liberal, and I really look at politics in a real tough way, tough manner, when it comes to conservatives. So I'm here to get it on with the same poet.
Cool.
Which brings us to.
Right, exactly.
Well, I'm Darryl E. McCullough, and I am a filmmaker, writer, published author of 2 books. Just a few years ago, developed a film company. We got 2 films under our belt, Holiday Lie and Daily Desperations. And people look at me as a conservative. I like to label myself as a semi-conservative. And I think that the way that you vote is the way that you also live your life, the way that you see things. So I think this is going to be an interesting discussion from a liberal, independent, conservative, semi-conservative conversation. I am married, 21 years, 2 beautiful children. Everybody always says beautiful children.
You're not going to tell people your kids are ugly.
Well, yeah.
Exactly, right, exactly.
My kids look a little funny, but they cool. No, I'm playing.
And, I look at myself as not only a person who has lived life, but I've watched life.
Okay.
So everything that we say here, it's going to be based on things that I've experienced or that I've seen. I'm just not going to just speak off of something that I'm not familiar with.
That's good stuff.
Well, you know what? I have to say this. I have to interject here. We talked about this semi-conservative. You're either conservative or you're not.
Ah.
We've already got we already have an independent. I'm a liberal, so you're one way or the other.
Are we really going there? We're gonna do that? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go there.
You gotta draw your line in the sand, bro.
Right, I have to clear that up. The line is in the sand right now.
Wow.
Well, I don't. I mean, I know how I feel about certain things, but when I voice that opinion, people say, it comes off to the right extremely. But I kind of look at myself.
You don't think
depends.
you're extreme. That's kind
No.
of how we are. We don't think we're extreme or whatever.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
I think it'll play out the way that we really are. People get the kind of feel for what it is that we really believe. So
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of extreme, Awit, I want to thank you, Carmen, and I want to thank you for the full circle shirts.
No problem.
I got a double XL. I kind of like my shirts a little more form fitting, but still, I appreciate the shirt.
I'm wearing our producer's shirt. I'm wearing Eric's shirt, and it's not form fitting. So,
And I have my shirt
but I
tucked
put it
in.
on my form, and it fit.
Yeah, and I know he had his tucked in.
It's tucked in.
If I change my tone and I start saying, "Oh, Darryl, how are you?" That
happened.
Conservative talk.
No,
That's
that
how I have to
happened.
talk
That
to
for
him.
real happened. He's already gotten grief about the tucked in shirt. I'm not even playing.
I feel violent with my shirt out.
Really?
I feel violent.
Is that what that is?
Hey.
Is that thuggery?
Hey,
Is that
hey.
what that is?
Definitely.
Take it easy, because I see where
So
this is
I'm
going.
out here.
Take it
I'm
easy.
out here thugging. I'm out here thugging in
Right. Oh,
Mine is out.
Right.
And
Hey,
go on, Petty.
I just wanted to touch on something real quick. There was a tragic accident on 94
Oh my goodness.
this weekend.
Yeah.
The motorcycle community is kind of just distraught. I want to send out condolences to the family of the two gentlemen that were killed, the Bowers family and the Rubens family.
Oh,
And
wow.
I just kind of want to touch on, motorcycle riding. People talk about how dangerous it is, and it is a dangerous game. I ride, but the big thing about riding motorcycles, and I know I'm getting off the politics, but
No,
this is
it's
something
cool.
I thought I needed to do, is that you have to be aware of your surroundings. And I'm not saying these two guys weren't, but you need to be aware of your surroundings when you ride, because it's dangerous. And the person that you have to watch out for is the one that's driving the car.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, that's dangerous," but people that ride, they love it, and that's what they do.
I lost a dear friend of mine.
That's what they do.
I lost a
But
dear
one
friend of
thing-
mine not too long ago from in a motorcycle accident. He was riding on a strip here in town called Anthony Wayne Trail. So I absolutely want to share in the condolences, and you know what? There's absolutely one thing that I always learned, coming up was, never be in a hurry to get dead. So as
Right.
people are out driving, there's nothing in this world worth rushing to lose your life for.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, and I definitely I've been riding since I was 14.
Right.
My wife has always let me pretty much get away with anything, but when I started riding just a little bit too much, and our son was born, she said, you're gonna have to put the bike down, and I did. But on that tragic situation, and speaking of that, it happened on I-94, and Carmen was saying how don't be what was it? Don't be in a hurry to.
In a hurry
Right.
to get dead. Yeah.
Everybody
Right,
in
right.
Detroit on I-94 drives like they're late for work,
Yeah.
and I just want to go over a little bit on my Detroit experience for a sec.
Right.
I live in a little country town in Michigan, and now I'm at an account in Detroit, and I was there. The people are nice. I mean, the road's a little bad, whatever, but it's not that bad. And then after about a month, I was like, Detroit is okay. And I'm looking for my car. I'm hit my little unlock button, and the car is gone. Somebody stole a car right there.
Here we go.
Wow.
Well,
Here we go.
Listen,
Go
Hey,
ahead.
wait, I don't make it up.
me-
I don't make this
Right,
up.
and you know what? I know you don't, but still, here we go. So go ahead and finish up.
Now, car stolen. Security shows me the video of, yes, your car was stolen. Here, we got it on video. You know, yep, they got your car in 8 minutes. But where was the security?
Right.
Then the car is found 3 weeks later on fire, full of drugs, totaled. I replaced the car a few weeks ago. I'm driving down I-94 in a traffic jam. This lady out of nowhere, speeding, liberal,
Really?
rear ends me.
I can't
You
do
know she was a
it.
liberal because
Seriously, really? How do you drive like a
Oh,
liberal? What does that
right.
even, what does that even mean?
who, if somebody doesn't use their turn signals, I guarantee you it's most likely a liberal. Because you let anything go.
No, that's
do
not
anything.
true. That's not true. That can't be true.
What I need is
It can't be true.
I need information. I need proof. Show me where it's.
I'm gonna need
at.
statistics. I'm gonna need statistical
I'm gonna
data.
need
I can't
facts.
deal. I can't
That's what I'm
do
gonna
it.
need.
I can go to Yahoo.
General statements.
Not Google.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Not Google.
I
Right.
can't play with that.
Yahoo. I can
That's
go to
funny.
Yahoo, and I'm sure that I can find data that will support
Yeah, I'm not. I'm.
But
who
I-
uses
but-
their turn
I'll put a
signals.
pin in that one because I don't believe that, and I hate
and
that
let
we
me tell you-
hijacked the conversation. Talk to me about the motorcycle. And,
Yeah,
and
and I am. And the thing I would say is, well, you know where you got it from a bunch of Yahoos. That's where you got it
yeah.
from. So that's what I'll say about that. But anyway, anyway, the thing I was going to say is this, and we know what our topic is about. But I wonder, and I stepped back and I said, what if Kevin and Marco had gotten gas and they were 5 minutes late
Wow.
from that particular area?
Yeah.
What if she had made a left and got on at another exit? Would they have met at that same time?
Do you know what I always tell myself? You know, like especially if somebody is being funky or cutting me off in traffic or whatever, I always, give myself the reassurance that maybe they're keeping me from an accident. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Exactly.
self-check and go, you know what? Instead of getting heated or whatever, because I can get heated behind the wheel, but it's just a way to just kind of self-check and say, you know what? Maybe they're saving me from something that I'm not supposed to be a
So
part
you
of.
believe
or
in
whatever.
destiny, karma, and all that kind of stuff.
I believe in
But-
God.
but-
I believe in divine providence. I believe in that. And I believe that, things happen for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and you make bad decisions. And then sometimes the reason is that, it's supposed to
and
happen.
Carmen,
that.
and that's the point that I'm making. Was it fate at that particular time on Saturday at 2:40?
Their
or
choices
was it
made.
divine intervention?
Their choices
Was
made.
it God?
And
So God sits back and says,
their choices made.
November 8th, that's it for
Oh,
you.
we've all got a date. We've all got a date. We've all got a date.
And-
We all have,
and the
every
thing-
person on this planet has an expiration date. It's what you
Right.
do between the time you're born and the time that you die.
But you
that
can also
matters.
speed that expiration date
Yes,
up, right?
you can, but by making bad decisions, and that's
Right, and the thing is, that's what the discussion is about. Is it fate? Is it a coincidence? Or is it intervention? Is it spiritual intervention? Is it God?
Intervention is always always a factor. There's always
Right.
the factor of the divine, and I just think that in terms of things like this, it's a way for us who are here walking around to reflect on how it is that we're living and the kinds of decisions that we make that lead us to those dates with destiny and those.
I agree.
rushes.
I agree.
What's your religious background?
Who me? I am a follower of Christ.
Where did you start out?
I started out when I was a child. I was raised in missionary Baptist churches. I attend
That's
currently.
that's a black.
Not
you-
necessarily, but
well,
yeah.
Most thing I know about being black is vote Democrat and go to a Baptist church.
That's not
And I did
necessarily
that.
so. I mean,
I
but
did that.
okay. I know several Catholics. I know several Muslims. I know several,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, this was my family background. Currently, I attend a non-denominational Christian church.
What does that mean?
That means that we don't adhere to, we follow Christ, not tradition.
Okay.
Too many times people are searching for God, but find religion instead. And instead of, looking at things from the aspect of serving personalities and serving, these things, these man-made dogma, type of things. We just look at the word for what it is, the divinely inspired word of God, and follow the teachings of Christ Jesus. I believe that he is the Messiah, the risen Lord, my Lord and Savior. And I mean, that is what it is for me.
I feel like I need to go, wow, but no.
And it is a relationship. It is not a religion for me. It is a choice in my life that has led me to, spiritual enlightenment, and I dig it.
But you know what my thing is? I agree with you 100%, Carmen. I'm the same way. I don't need two or more as a fellowship. I don't need a whole congregation to know who I believe in or to worship God.
Well, where did you start out, though,
I'm a Lutheran. I'm a Lutheran.
Okay.
That's where you started out?
I went to Lutheran school. I was baptized in Lutheran school, which is basically a spinoff from the Catholic, so I don't want to really say too much, but
well, I mean,
that's where I started.
It's kind
That's
of
where
funny.
I started.
It's kind of funny because, when you get into, like I said, the denominational aspect, or when you get into
Right.
Catholic, Protestant, Lutheran, all of these different kinds of things, what the core belief is the same in terms of the Christ. There's a lot of people that say, there's a lot of ways to God, this, that, and the third, or whatever. And I don't argue anyone's religion. I can't argue what you believe, because
Right.
that belongs to you, and that's fair,
Well, just to interrupt you for a sec. On that, and I'm going to go back to Detroit.
Yeah.
My background religion is everybody in my family is a Baptist minister or deacon or
Yeah.
whatever, and I
Right.
tried it. I
Yeah.
tried it.
Okay.
But it the stand up, sit down, and the singing, it just didn't do it for me at that time. So I tried.
So what do you
I
believe?
tried. I needed structure.
Okay.
I needed a military religion.
Oh.
So tell me what to do, what not to do, because I thought I was bad because of some of the thoughts that I had, and I was just really just a virile.
Did you go
teenager.
to,
So
did you go to the
what is
Fire
the
and Brimstone
military-
Church? Did you go to the church where they told you that you go blind if you masturbate and all that?
Yeah, well, I was there. I was doing that, and what happened
Wow.
was I ended up
They scared
being a Jehovah's Witness
I was
for
gonna say,
many years.
They scared the hell out of you, didn't they?
They did.
I didn't see
They
a
did,
I didn't see
and
a rated R
I'm still
movie
trying
for
to figure
5
out
years.
That's
what a
funny.
military religion is. You have to explain that to me.
That's hilarious.
I wanted to be a Christian all day,
Okay.
not just on Sundays.
Right.
And I mean, there was no fornication, nothing, and I actually enjoyed it to a certain degree,
Okay.
because it was structure.
And that
Right.
fit your personality. I feel that probably fit your personality at the time, yes? Or no?
Yeah, at the time. And,
Okay.
because I tried so many different religions, even though that was the one that I was more so with, it left me confused.
Okay.
Now,
And how so?
because, I mean, you believe what you believe, Carmen believes what she believes.
Right.
Do you
And,
understand that? Okay, that's kind of the beauty of what it is that God is, okay? You get that, right?
There are 19 churches in Detroit on Gratiot Avenue
Right.
for 1 mile.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
are there 19 churches for black people to attend?
Is it just for black people though? Do you get that the relationship aspect is the important thing, not necessarily where you go, where you attend. It's
But he
and I get
relates.
that for you. I mean,
But he relates Detroit to black. That's what he relates it That's where
we're
we're at.
digging now. I
Right,
dig
he
it. I
relates-
dig it. Okay,
right,
okay,
exactly.
okay. I feel
to.
that.
That's what it is. He relates.
Well, let's
he-
look
he-
at it.
And what I want to know is when you go to the Bible Belt, and I said this before. How many churches do you have?
Well, I'm
a
in
specific
Toledo.
area?
Okay, I'm in Toledo, and for in a 3-block radius in Toledo, there are at least 15 churches. And
Thank you.
And I'm gonna put that I'm gonna put that out there because here's the thing, and I don't know if any of you guys know Toledo, Ohio. I tell people I was raised in Detroit and lowered in Toledo. Don't get mad. I'm just saying. People think it's like the butt crack of nowhere, but it's a place. It's for real.
Right.
So, anyway, what I'm saying is this. Okay, when I say that it's a personal thing, like you said, we all have our ideas of what it is, but that's the beauty of what God is. We have our own mind, we have our own thoughts, we have our own connection. It is when they say a personal relationship with God, because you serve in a collective, that doesn't mean that you think, walk, or act as a collective. That's one of the problems people say. When people say Black people, they make us this big monolith as if we all think, do, or say one thing,
I guess
and
I
we
look
don't.
at it. If I'm going down the street, would I see 19 Catholic churches on the same block?
You probably would. And I won't say Catholic. I will say
there may be one big one, two big ones.
I'm going to say
there's no unity when you see 19 churches
let's
on
go
the
to
street.
somewhere like North Carolina, like a Durham, North Carolina, for example. Durham, North Carolina is in the heart of the Bible Belt, and it's not Black churches per se, but there's a bunch of churches. And what happens is church becomes the center of people's social lives as opposed to just their religious experience. A religious experience.
Black people so religious.
Ooh.
And is religion a business? Has it become a hustle?
Ah.
Oh, wow.
This is interesting.
But this is what I will say. I will say this.
Yeah, talk for a little bit because I got to get my chapstick.
Right. It is a business, and I believe in some cases it is a hustle. I do believe that. And I say that when all I need, let me tell you something, all I need is a small church and the word told to me, and that's it. I don't need a 30,000 seat church where it's rally day every other Sunday because you have to give the pastor $50 or $100 for him to get his Rolls Royce or to go on his trip with his family.
Do you know?
I don't need that.
Do you know what?
And that, and I will. Let me say this. I went to a church in the '90s. I went in there. It was rally day. Boom, rally day. I'm like, what is rally day? You know, I didn't have any money. I had a credit card. I had a credit card on me.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, I have a credit card on. Next thing I know, they pull out the slicer. This was like 92.
Wow.
I was like,
back in the day, they had the swipe action?
The slicer.
No.
That was when they first came out. And right then and there, Carmen, same poet, I was almost to the point where I said, no, I something's got to give here.
You know what?
You know, I got to interrupt you because somebody's coming through the door.
You know, I love the Lord, but his kids trip me out, I swear.
Right. And needless to say, I didn't go to that church again.
Hey, wait, I gotta cut you for a second. Our guest just kind of
eased in the door.
He can't take it anymore. He
said
has
it
to come out.
before. He never let the mic magnetize him no more.
But it's
What?
fighting
Bring him on in.
It's fighting me, inviting me to rhyme. I can't hold it back.
Yeah,
Man.
come on,
Bring him
Whitney.
I'm looking for the line.
What?
Wow. Wow.
I know that.
What
Is
you
my mic
ain't
on?
know?
Is-
Yes.
My
yes.
check. Okay. Can I address a couple things real quick before I answer whatever y'all was talking about?
Let's just talk
Well,
it.
let me give an introduce.
Okay, let's
this-
introduce our guest.
This is Afrikan Caesar from the Speaker Box podcast.
Sneaker box.
Sneaker box.
Sneaker box. You said speaker box.
I didn't say Speaker Box.
It sounded like you said speaker. There you go.
From the Sneaker Box podcast, and he is a very interesting gentleman with a very interesting perspective, not only sneaker related but life related.
All right.
So I'm sorry he couldn't wait till his
couldn't.
time frame.
I was itching.
Hey,
Couple
but
things.
you know what? Congratulations on your show.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you. Thank
absolutely.
you.
Congratulations.
Couple of things. One, you're not gonna talk shit about Detroit. You from Ohio. Second of all, as far as driving, you were saying
Detroit?
You were saying don't rush to die. But I'm like, life was too short to spend it in my car. So like, if I got somewhere to be, I ain't got time to look at the trees, look at the birds, look at the scenery. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to get wherever you saw me where.
When
my
we met
goodness.
today, I saw you on the highway.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You were definitely going over 55.
I was.
You
I
play too
admit
much.
You had the
You
music
play too
I admit
much.
that. You drive like a Canadian grandmother. So like,
No.
I don't want like. He's like
You know, the Michigan.
semi trucks are honking at him.
In Michigan, the speed limit is 70 on the highway.
There's some
FYI.
spots. So like speed traps, they lower it to 55
Well, yeah,
to give you
okay.
tickets.
All right.
But and shout out to my what's his name again? I'm sorry. I should have like educated myself.
A. Whitney Petty.
Okay.
Hey, Whitney.
Shout out to you too, because I went to Lutheran schools myself.
My man.
So but like I'm so like anti-religious. So we got like
I got the. Hey, where you from Detroit? But where? What part?
Out of drive.
What set are you
Out of
from?
driving mile, east side.
Oh, I represent Highland Park. I represent the HP what? Straight up Woodward.
See?
You.
I feel you,
there.
man. I got family all over there.
What up?
Yeah, we there.
East side?
What up, though?
Is that
Right,
near?
right.
Where do you get the chicken wings?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
No,
Don't trip.
Right.
Don't trip.
The spots. It's
Don't
not one
act
spot.
like that.
Where do you get
Right.
Where do
Coney
you get the
Island,
places
what?
where you get
Everywhere.
the corned beef? Where you guys put the
Everywhere.
Lou's
coleslaw?
Deli.
Six
First of
miles.
all,
Lou's.
Lou's. If you don't like
Lou's.
coleslaw on your corned beef
6
sandwich, something wrong with
I
you.
don't know. What is up?
Hey,
Detroit does
America,
not know
just so y'all
how
know though,
to make
y'all
a
taking
corned beef
I'm
sandwich.
afraid we do.
You getting corned beef advice from a
Hey.
man that tucks his t-shirt in. So don't
See,
listen.
I'm lean.
Don't
I'm
I don't
lean.
it don't matter, dog. Like so you don't know
Hey,
nothing about corned
Lou's.
beef. Don't
Hey, all you have to know is Lou's Deli.
There you go.
That's all.
That's all you need to
That's
know.
all. That's it.
Who you gonna take advice from?
That's it.
Somebody that don't eat, somebody that obviously eats a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
If
I'ma
you
look
pay
like
$30
myself.
for a belt, I want people to see my $30 belt. Why
You
would
know
you
what?
want to buy it?
$30
He got-
for a
yeah.
belt? Really?
Yeah.
If it's, I mean,
that-
Detroit is probably 50 or 60.
Is that what we're doing now?
But,
Man.
but
Here
you know,
go.
show it all.
Bruh.
He's wearing,
Hey, seriously, don't give me that look. I'm serious,
he's wearing
Bruh.
belts.
dude. I will,
That's what
What you
we're
gonna
doing.
do? I like
Hey.
don't you gotta finish that sentence.
I will scratch your eyes out.
Did he say it
Hey,
like that?
hey,
Oh.
Daryl. Hey, Daryl.
I'm
Huh?
afraid.
Daryl, take it easy.
No,
and
just
leave.
calm down.
No, he's-
you ain't got to get
And he has
down.
a beaded
almost-
he has a beaded bracelet on. Like that,
this
bruh.
is
Word.
this is
You ain't got to get down, player. You ain't got to get down.
your
You
boys
straight.
had on beaded all
Who?
when I went to your podcast, they all had on beaded
But they
bracelets.
cool
I
though.
felt cool.
They cool, man. Everybody can't pull up the same stuff. Everybody can't dress like Prince.
See,
Oh no! Don't please don't mention Prince.
No, I'm just
Please
saying
do not
everybody can't
mention
dress like Prince. Like I can't
Oh,
go
my
around
God.
wearing tight clothes like that. He can.
Oh,
you know what I'm
my
saying?
God.
So I mean,
Why
But
why you say my
I'm
clothes
just-
are tight? My
I'm
clothes aren't
gonna.
tight.
No,
you
I
know
said
what?
Prince. You're not
You know
Prince.
what?
Hey, African.
I draw the line at
What's up?
Hey, give him a break. He's coming around. I'm trying to bring him around, man.
we
I'm
need to
trying
work, man. Look, I don't believe. Look, like I said, I'm anti-religious, but I pray for him every night.
See there. See there you go.
That doesn't even. What?
Wow.
I got because like at some point, man, you got to break down. Like you know, what? I cannot do this on my own.
Oh my goodness.
I need divine
So
intervention.
talk to me. Talk to me about what it is that you believe. How'd you get to that place?
Okay. Just like my man A. Whitney, I was raised up in. Not only was I raised up in a religious school, but I was raised up in a religious household. Like I spent my aunt, who I was mostly raised by, she was a church secretary.
Oh yeah.
Like,
you
she
old
was-
school. You was there from
Yes.
the time the doors open
Sun up, sun
till they
down,
closed.
slave
you went,
hours.
You went to
Like,
BTU. You went to
everything.
evening service. You went to
Wednesday
after-
service,
Right.
Sunday. I mean, we
He
there.
went to the mission meetings.
Right. I'm there with like the other old ladies, and they trying to figure
Wow.
out like which candy they gonna have in their purses that Sunday.
Right.
No, I'm. So I was in the church like every day, right?
Okay.
And the thing of it is, I mean, experiences shape all of our perspectives, right?
Okay.
So my experiences has been, you know, especially from my perspective, is like I've seen people outside of Sunday. Like you said, people act a certain way on Sunday, right? You see them Tuesday when nobody else is there. You see them
Yep.
acting a fool. You see them
Yeah.
on Monday, and you see that stuff. And then I actually didn't start questioning religion until I got older, maybe like college years, and
Okay.
you realize there's more stuff out there.
Okay.
Black
And-
people don't question religion.
Well, they don't
Oh,
question.
but we do.
What is
See,
it?
and this the thing when he goes into the black people thing, we have questions.
No,
and then,
I
Right.
agree with him to a point.
You know how many black atheists I've met in my life?
I agree with them.
Zero.
Me,
I've
me,
met,
I'm like
no,
the first one.
I've met black
African-
atheists. I've met black agnostics. I've met
It's
people.
far in between.
That's not true.
I'm gonna tell you this. This is what I feel like. This is. I mean, if you're gonna talk about black people and religion, let's start from where I began. Like,
Okay.
it's at least in this country, it started off as a way to basically control slaves. So I
agree.
mean,
I control the masses.
Exactly.
I can't let you do that because
Why?
see, I've studied world religions, and when you look at where it is that the origin of the Jesus narrative comes
Mm-hmm.
from, it comes from a black place. So I'm not going to allow you to
Jesus-
say,
how is Jesus come from a
How
black
did it
place?
come
He's
from a black
Jewish.
place and they came over and took the religion that was in
how's a
Africa,
Jewish
whatever that.
man a black perspective?
Let me tell you what. Do you honestly think that from the beginning of time that all Jews look like they look today?
No, I mean, I would say people evolve, but I mean, when you say black,
I'm saying a brown perspective.
Okay,
I'm saying
brown.
a place
Okay.
in a place in the Middle East,
right? But
where people can look like
in terms of
you
this discussion,
and I.
In terms of this discussion, is it between brown and black? Like when we talk about black, we talk about African American.
Well, let's go there too, because then you look at the Ethiopian the Ethiopian connection to the Jesus story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many places other than just the U.S. where this narrative exists.
No, I'm talking about as far as in this country. I don't know how they are in Ethiopia.
Okay.
I'm saying in this country, we have been trained. Like that's basically what's happened. We have been trained.
Okay, and I get that. I get the King James version. I get all of the things that people say as far as like to, negate that piece. But do you believe there's a God?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Then you're agnostic.
No. Okay, I can be agnostic. I mean, I accept that. Here's my problem with religion in general, right?
Okay.
Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows.
That's the good thing.
Nobody
and the
knows.
bad thing.
But I mean,
Is
here's
that
the
a
problem.
good thing or bad thing? What do you mean?
If my daughter is hot in the pants,
Okay.
or my wife is unfaithful and I want to make it work,
Okay.
the first place I'm going to go is to church.
Why?
Because evidently what I'm trying to say and do, you're not paying attention to that. You're straying. So you're not going to listen to me. Maybe you'll listen to the unknown.
But Darryl, let me just say this though. Let me say this though. It's just like, for me, somebody saying you need to go see a shrink. What can a shrink do for me that I can't do for myself?
You
I know
do need to go see a shrink, though.
But this is the other thing. Why am I going to go into a church and talk to a pastor who has a congregation of 30,000 and think that he's going to really try to help me get my life together with my family
Because
and my
if you want
wife?
help-
Hold on. I mean, why would I think that?
Can I interject here in terms of from a Christian perspective? It's our job to serve, to love, to build the relationship aspect. So, I mean, I can understand why that would be a draw for you in terms of that situation. Me, myself, I'm going back to more of an origin aspect of this, because if we're going to be analytical, and I tend to wax analytical here and there. For me, let's look at it even in terms of science. We look at science and we see the Big Bang Theory, we see the theory of evolution, all of which are theories and must be proven through hypothesis and testing and all of that stuff. You look at the Higgs boson molecule. When I look at or think about intelligent design or a God figure, there has to be something before, because my thing is matter and energy don't just poof make something without there being a catalyst.
I agree with that.
That's
but
why
if that
I believe
is there, why is it in the favor? Do you think it's in the favor of black people? When it comes to religion and black people, if anybody should be an atheist, it should be black people.
Why?
Really?
Because
Why?
of
The hardships that we've gone through? Is that why?
yeah, instead of
Suffering. We are the only people who have ever suffered in the history of ever. That's not true.
But it's like, I have never gone to a McDonald's in a white neighborhood and that person handed me my food and said, "Have a blessed day." Not one time.
I have.
When I go in the black neighborhoods, have a blessed day. Give me my fries. That's all I want.
That's the worst analogy ever.
No, it's perfect.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
Because why do you wear your religion?
I don't have a problem with people wearing
overly
religion. You know where I really have a problem with religion?
I mean, what about Jewish people? Do you have a problem with them being overly spiritual?
But they keep it to themselves. Here's the thing, though.
That's not true.
They keep it within their community. Here's the thing I would say about
Yeah,
religion.
but we don't know that we're in our
Are we talking about? I mean, I'm just saying. Why is it that when we look at Christianity in terms of the black experience, why is that so wrong or whatever to you guys?
Let me tell you.
I mean, you look at Muslims,
I believe. I don't want to come off like I don't.
No, I mean,
but I believe
you guys
because
are given.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
We are
but-
so
but- but-
vain. We are, just to interrupt you for a sec, we as a whole of people, we didn't start questioning religion until the internet came out.
Really? That's not true.
That's when you started
So, I don't
developing
agree with that
questions.
either. I mean,
But
I don't agree.
I'm
with
gonna
that.
go
I don't agree
here.
with
I
that
think
either.
the college experience allows you to think through.
because you see other stuff, and
Yeah.
like when
And
you
but
shelter.
you never
Yeah.
questioned when we were younger.
No,
you would
matter of fact,
never
you taught
question
not to
religion.
question it. Like honestly, you are taught not to question. It's almost like taboo to say, "Hey, why is this?" It's like like somebody's head explodes, and
let me ask
But,
you
but,
this.
but, you, but you
That's-
know, this is
okay.
this is what I need to say. Right, this is what I need to say. We don't know how they do their religion in the Jewish community. I mean, we don't know because we're not there. We don't know how they do it in the Arab world. All we know is what we do as black people, religious. So we can't really say they're different.
So
than
that's
us.
why I don't
Or
like
they're
blanket
less-
statements.
No, can I agree with you, but can I interject something? Judaism is directly tied to Jews. Islam is directly tied to like
I agree.
people
I
in
agree.
that area.
That
Christianity.
is the worst analogy.
But-
No,
but-
listen,
That's the worst
but no,
analogy I've
listen to
ever
what
heard.
I'm saying. Listen to what I'm
I
saying.
just want
hold
to get
on,
him back for what he said.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You're using like horrible generalizations.
Judaism,
have
like
people that
for the
convert
most
over.
part, if you're a Jew, you practice in Judaism. Christianity is such a broad religion; it's not really specific to a race of people or to a particular culture. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I do get that.
So you get what I'm saying?
I do get that.
So therefore, I see there's a difference. Like you can be from anywhere and be a Christian. Most people, for the most part, who practice Islam, come from a particular place.
However, there's always the converted as
Yeah,
well.
oh, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
people
I agree.
convert all the time. I mean,
Exactly.
I agree.
I have a friends of mine who are Sunni Muslims. Who were raised in the Christian tradition or what have you, but they're Sunni Muslims now.
Right.
Or there's people that have converted from Judaism to Christianity. I mean, there's always room for that. So my thing is, when you make these sweeping generalizations, black people this,
He said that.
or whatever,
Well,
it speaks to a really funky kind of dichotomy because we don't really look at people for the individual thing. And that's one thing I want to stress in terms of the belief system. It's as individual as we are. I mean,
But-
as people.
Now that's
you know
where we
what?
disagree.
Why?
Okay, why do you say that?
Well, I think it all ties to being vain, and I think this is a great illustration.
That's a different point.
Let's go
Because
there.
you know what? I love me some me.
Do
And
you now?
and you know what?
I couldn't tell.
I just can't die.
I couldn't tell.
I can't die.
I agree with you.
have to live forever.
Me too.
So once you put that in, everybody thinks that they're the best and they're this, and they just cannot die.
Let me ask you this.
My grandmother died. My mother's going to die. I'm going to die. Do I think it's going to be some everlasting and up in heaven or whatever? I don't know. But or if you're bad, are you going to burn forever? It's too much fairy tale.
But at the end of the day,
Are you clapping your
and I know
hands?
you don't
I
like
notice
that.
a lot of black people when they say that, they clap their hands.
Well, hold
Is that
on,
what we
no,
do? See what
at the end but hey, Darryl, at the end of the day, we have a choice.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you have a choice.
Well, let
Let me tell you something. I have a choice not to go to a Baptist church because I'm from Lutheran. I don't do well with screaming and hollering and all this other stuff. I just don't do well. I have a choice not, and I don't go there. That's my choice.
The Catholics don't have the Holy Ghost.
I want to speak
Catholics
to your.
don't faint in church.
That's not true. I want to
Where?
speak to your. My sons went to Catholic school. My sons went to St. Francis.
Are you pointing at me?
I think I'm not
There
pointing.
you
I'm just
go.
gonna
This is
step
the
back.
point.
Like, I'm gonna let y'all handle
Let
it.
me
Carmen,
speak
point
to your.
at him.
Let me speak to
You
your.
need to get some of these
vanity.
you need to get some of these Raisinets, dog. I'm telling you, I wish you was here.
See there. Let me speak to your point about vanity. Let me ask you this. Okay. In terms of eternal life, let's say you live as if there's nothing else. Okay. And you do all of the things that just please you. You don't care for anyone. You don't show any type of.
I hate
I'm
that.
asking. I'm
No,
asking. No, if you do that and you die and you believe that there's nothing else, you die. Okay. What if you're wrong? Do you feel what I'm saying?
I hate
unknown.
What if
Can
you're
I answer
wrong?
that? Can I address
What if
that?
you're wrong? What if
Can I
you're
address-
wrong?
Unknown
If I
hazard.
live,
I wanna
if I
address that.
live according to the tenets of my faith, and I love, and I share, and I do the things
I wanna
that I'm
address that.
called
So
to
can
do.
I address that?
I mean, even if you're
Look
right,
how you frame
I
that question.
still- I'm just saying, even if you're right, I've still lived that life.
But look how you
according
framed
to
it,
the
though.
tenets. Well, this is what you said before when you came on. You were like, I'm in it for you gave the little speed and I got
Abruptly
things to do.
came on.
Well, I'm talking about as far as driving. Like, I mean,
No, but I'm just saying,
right.
that speaks to
But
us.
no, that doesn't speak to my overall viewpoint of life.
kinda-
But when you frame the question, well, you do stuff for you, as if people that don't believe in X religion somehow
I'm not
doesn't
saying
believe.
that. No.
And that's the way it
I mean,
sounded.
people have their value systems.
That's what I'm saying.
whatever
Like a
have
value
you.
system can be established with no religion at all.
Absolutely, you right from wrong.
But the
What you
whole
believe is
notion
right from
of
wrong.
what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's
If
to
I'm
say?
wrong, I'm still living according to those tenets, and
But
I've
if it's
still
wrong,
lived
though,
a
does it
life.
matter?
I've still lived a life that leaves a legacy of giving,
Okay.
faith, hope, love, that whole thing.
But somebody not religious can leave that same legacy.
To an extent.
How?
To an extent.
Well, what's the extent? Like, why
Well,
is there a ceiling?
I'm not. I'm. The reason why I say that there's a ceiling is that because without from my experience, and I can only speak from my perspective.
Right.
From my experience, people who don't have like a particular faith, there's a level of self-centeredness that goes along with you only live once. That mentality.
First
There's
off,
a level of it.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
No, okay, from my viewpoint, right, as a whole in religion, right, I feel like the whole basis of it is archaic man looking for a way to understand why things are, right? Like back in the day, autism 2,000 years ago would be like a bunch of demons in somebody's head.
I get that.
Now we've established that it's something else.
Okay.
So I think it was just archaic man's way of trying to explain stuff. And now I think religion has become a crutch. Like, okay, like I got a hard life. I can go Sunday, cry, scream, sing, and then feel good for like a couple hours, and then get through the rest of my week, and then go back to church again, so I can get my weekly feel of feel goodness. And
do you think that it's just that experience? Do you think it's just that experience, or do you think that there's a deeper level of spirituality or relationship that comes?
I think some people look for that, but it's like a placebo. I mean, like if you're taking a sugar pill and you feel sick and you start to feel better, you're gonna think, okay, that pill is doing it. You know what I'm saying? It might not be.
What do you think is doing it?
Huh?
What do you think is doing it?
I think you got yourself conditioned thinking. I mean, not you.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I think most people condition. I think they say, okay, I'm feeling better, and they associate it with, because I read the Bible or I went to church today, that somehow correlates to me feeling better. And I mean, because if you look at,
what if it does?
No, and that's fine. That's your belief system.
Okay.
I just think where religion for me becomes a problem is when it starts to bleed into people starting, like, for example, like whole gay rights issue, right?
Okay.
That's
okay.
like that's
I
your
can
belief.
see- I can
You know what I'm saying?
see-
But why would you you want that to be your belief, but at the same time too, you want to make laws imposing your belief on other people of other beliefs.
I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
and for me, that's where I draw a hard line in the sand
Right.
as well. I feel as though our personal belief system is just that in terms of Christianity and the ways that we're supposed to express it. I feel like people have run amok, and the reason why I say that is because I feel like the way that you live and who you are as a person should be the persuasive thing that makes people want to know what it is that you think, as opposed to beating others over the head with your belief system.
that right.
I
We
would,
agree.
you know what I'm saying? That I would never do, and I think that is.
Don't hit it. No.
Hey, let me interject here right quick. Let me just say one thing.
That was so awkward.
Let me interject here real quick.
You missed it.
Who is to say what was brought up from the biblical years up to present day is the real deal, is the truth?
I agree.
Who's to say all of that? Who's to say? I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but who's to say, who makes the call that that's true? That is the gospel.
You have a lot of staunch people.
There's
a lot of staunch religious people. You know what is funny? It's like taking a test, right?
Okay.
Neither one of us know the answer, right?
Okay.
I leave my blank. You fill in just any answer, but you walk away feeling like, okay, I did a better job on that question just because you put an answer there. We both got it wrong.
Well, I think that the problem with just the fill in the blank aspect of it is if you've sought or done some seeking, due diligence, research, going and finding out what it is that you want to know.
If I wrote the book,
I disagree with that one.
That's kind of no. But I'm saying the
my
seeking
book is going to bring you to
the seeking aspect. I think is the important piece of faith that people are missing.
That's why I
because,
disagree with you.
Because in terms of go ahead.
But if you seek it, what if it's still wrong? What if from day one it was not right? Based on whatever. What if it wasn't right? What if you seek it and everything you seek is wrong.
But you know what?
Everything
What
that
if
was
it is?
taught
What are you
was
seeking
wrong.
You're
for?
taking me
though?
back to a situation that
And,
happened
and,
with my
and,
aunt.
and hold on. And then what it goes to is this one thing: faith. That's
Right.
what it boils down to.
Right.
Faith.
Right.
That's it.
But faith is such a weak term. To me.
Why do you say that?
But
Well, did I just trigger you?
No, yeah, I'm
No,
asking.
because faith is such a weak term. Because like basically what it boils down to is like I can't like for most people, I can't explain it. It just is what it is. I believe it, and it's like
No, you're right.
Because you
But-
can't
but
dispute
you're-
what
but-
someone
but-
believes if they understand it in terms of of a knowing, of
No, no,
spiritual
but I
knowing
believe
for
if
them.
you expose the truth,
spiritual knowing
if you
for them.
expose the truth, some people don't want to know the truth. My aunt, very close, extreme Baptist, major Baptist. All she knows is church. And
Right.
when I went to her and we would have, I call them Bible parties. I got this and we're going this and this and that. And some things may seem valid and you say, well, you know what? But they're going to believe what they believe. And I
That's-
love her. And I didn't want to rock the boat.
That's
You
kinda
know,
where I
don't
would-
rock the boat, baby.
That's kind of where I go
Don't
back
tip the boat
to.
over.
we get the boat analogy. You ain't got to keep.
I'm just saying, don't do it.
We get it.
That's where I
Don't
go
do it.
back
We
to
get it.
the
Hey,
individual. and the-
that lets you know his error right there. He was singing that song. He wanted.
No. I'm just
That's
saying.
why I go back to the personal aspect of it, and the fact that it is an individual situation. I mean, everyone's faith is not going to look the same, sound the same, be the same.
But you
know what I'm
can't say
saying?
you research something and then say it's a belief.
Well, that's not necessarily so.
No, because
you
if
can
you-
have faith in something based on what it is that you've researched.
Well, me personally, I feel like faith is based on some type of established thing. Like for example, right? I believe my wife is not with another man right now. Right?
Okay.
I don't know. She could be.
You've been married over 10 years?
I've been married over 10 years. I would like to think I know her. Me saying that is
Don't
based
say
on my
that.
relationship.
Don't.
No,
Here we go.
gonna
Don't
stop
you
that.
dare. Because I've been married
show
20
me.
years. Let's do
Look,
this.
look,
Show
time
me.
out.
20 years in the game. What up?
A relative told me, you show me a woman that's been married for over 10 years, and I'll show you a woman who's dying to have an affair.
Wow, that's a whole
Then you
nother
may be-
show.
Now-
Thanks for. I'm like what 2 hours away from home.
That's
Like,
so
thank you.
nice.
I will call
That's
her.
not
I
a
will call
thing.
her.
Thank you.
That's not a
No,
thing.
no.
I will call her.
Here's the thing, though. So, like me saying that I believe my wife is not with another man right now is based on our relationship, an established relationship.
Okay.
It's not like I don't know her and I'm
Right.
just making this blanket statement.
Right.
So that's why I feel like faith is. I think for a lot of people in religion, it's like I can't explain this. I don't know why I'm really doing it, but
Well-
I'm doing it because most people,
But
most
as-
black folks
as-
been doing it since they've been kids.
I get that, and
Hey,
I grew up in the church myself.
Exactly.
But at the same time, life itself has shown me experiences. I've been through
Yeah.
things that have led me to a place where my faith is strengthened based on my experiences and the things that I've sought
Right.
to learn.
I'm just saying, if most people did research, they would
Yeah.
walk away with a lot more questions than answers about
And
religion.
I mean, real talk. There's always going to be that much more in terms of questioning, but the questions
But is that
should
really-
lead you
Let me ask
to
you this.
seeking more knowledge.
Do you
Make
think?
a point because we got to go to. I want to go to the hustle part.
All right, can I ask you this one last
What-
question?
What's up?
If-
Let me touch on. Let
Oh,
me touch on this.
Well, my
real
bad.
I'm
quick.
sorry. We got to get you in the
let me touch on-
conversation, bro.
Yeah, let me touch on this real quick. And I'm not saying I buy into it 100%, but I do believe from my experiences, from things that have happened to me, I was like, wait a minute, no, something had to intervene here. But anyway, that's just my take on it.
Now, what about? I like. Let's go to the hustle part, and then I want to go to Afrikan Caesar so he can talk about what he does and what's going on with him. But what do you think about the hustle part? Because we're all over the place on
Yeah, we are.
religion, which explains why there are 19 churches in a 1 mile radius in Detroit.
That didn't explain. That
What's more
did not
churches or party
explain
stores
it.
in Detroit? What do you think?
I
That did
think
not
there's a
explain.
church,
Gun
a
store,
party
liquor store, gun store, liquor store.
And a Chinese food restaurant.
There's a church, a party store, and a Coney Island on every corner.
Right, exactly.
And the D, that's called the D. That's
There
just
you
called
go.
what. That's what
Right.
it
We
is.
got
It is.
flavor.
So is it a
And
hustle?
you have to move closer to the D to understand it, Darryl. I'm not gonna mention where you are, but not in the woods.
He doesn't
Not
like
in the
Fago. He does
Are
not
you
like
playing
Fago.
with me?
Who? You
He
know
doesn't
what?
like Fago.
Who don't drink rock and rye?
Oh,
I
my
don't
God.
want.
Right.
Hey,
I don't want
hey,
diabetes.
what about Vernon?
excuse you?
What about Vernon?
You just brought an
What about
atheist and a
Vernon?
Christian together on Afrikan
Oh!
Caesar. Like, think about that.
Bro.
Like, think about how ridiculous your stance
I don't
is.
want anything that they have. You brought a can in, and the flavor is red pop. red is not a flavor.
It kind of
Bruh.
is.
That's
Thank
racist.
you.
It kind of is.
Man,
It really kind of
That's
is.
like
Wait a minute,
saying,
hold on.
hey,
Did
what's
you
your
just say
favorite
that's
pop? And you go,
racist?
red.
Did you just say
Are
that's
you
racist?
serious?
Yeah, he
That's
said it's racist. He said
I
it's
can't deal with
racist.
you. I really can't.
Oh my
But
God.
I can't deal with anything
They took an ethnic
I
slur
can't deal
and
with
put it on a
anything that's
can.
happening over there.
Oh, so what? Indians should be offended
Yeah.
by this red
They
pop?
should.
Oh.
They should.
I don't think that's Native American. I think it's strawberry. What
They
are you
didn't say
talking
it's
about?
called
No,
red
because
pop.
it's
Hey, let me-
They
red.
didn't call it
let me
strawberry
But
pop.
it's red.
Let me touch on this hustle
I
thing.
don't like
Hey,
it.
go ahead with it.
What's up?
Hey, let me touch on this hustle thing right quick.
All right.
And I do believe in a lot of cases it is a hustle, and I spoke on it before.
Yeah.
I believe it's a hustle. Anytime you go into a church, when they have rally day, when
I've
they
never
have
heard of rally
days that
day.
you give money to the pastor,
Oh my
$150,
God. Yes.
two times in the church service for his
Well,
vacation.
you got to
or
contribute
for
to the
his-
maintenance fund.
But hold on.
Maintain his lifestyle.
For his Rolls Royce.
Let me tell you
or
what.
for
There was
whatever the
golden.
case it is.
Let me tell you what.
Any-
That's the difference between serving a God and serving a personality. Too many
Exactly.
people go to these situations and they serve personalities. That's not biblical. That's not of the Lord. I'm not playing with that.
But you know why?
And see, that's what confuses people about what it is that we say we believe. My thing is, you can either be a follower of Christ or you can be a member of a
follower
club.
of a pimp.
You can
A
be a
follower
member
of
of
a
a club with a Jesus logo on it.
You know why it's so easy to
You know.
manipulate religious people?
Why is that?
Because
Why-
I mean, for the most part, in general, I'm not saying you. In general, you walk in wanting to believe. You walk in
But that's
throwing out
what you-
logic, and you walk in wanting to accept whatever somebody from the book because you don't want to believe this person is using you.
And you know what? That's where
And he
that's
has
where
life to
that's
gab.
that's where charismatic people take advantage of vulnerable people.
But
and it
why
can
are you so
happen.
vulnerable?
And it can happen not only in terms of religion, but in politics. Look at the situation where Hitler became people became sycophantic about that. I mean it can people can be taken advantage of at the point of their vulnerability in any situation.
But at some point,
And when you look at churches, people come, like I was saying before, the flawed but forgiven aspect, people come with the notion that, if I'm honest, if I'm transparent, if I am, at
give you
my
that.
my place of, wanting, like you said, wanting
Right.
to believe something, they come with that notion of wanting to, be a part of something bigger than themselves.
But in fairness to the Germans, though, at least at some point, it was like, wait a minute, this guy might not
Nah,
be.
they didn't.
Yeah, they did. The German people,
only
the
after,
Nazis,
only after they got
like a
handled.
year into it. A year
only,
in.
only after they got handled
No,
by
that's
the
why.
rest of the world.
That's why you have 14 different German groups trying to assassinate Hitler at different times. I mean, because
True that,
the
but at the
people
same
were in a
time,
position
let's be real. Let's be real. Let's
like
be real.
Christians. I went to a church where they did that, where they threw money at his feet. You know, he was slick. You know what he did? This is what pastors are so slick. They the best hustlers, right? He went to another church and preached this. He didn't preach it at his own church. He preached at another church and said, sow seed into good ground, right? So seed is money, good ground would be another individual, right? So he told that congregation, knowing his congregation was there, to sow their money into their pastor. So what do you think his congregation is going to do hearing that message? Well, if he's telling them to do that, maybe we should sow seed into him. So we at church, we broke. Me and my aunt got the lights turned off.
Thank you.
$90. She takes 50 of that
That's
and
what
put it
I
at
was
his feet.
saying about not serving personalities.
But how do you separate that?
Now,
That's
listen,
the key.
I tell you what, we
That's
got to
the
make
key.
our last points so we can get here because we got time restraints, of course. But make your point, Ingrid.
This is my last point because this is my last point here. I know a guy who went to jail for selling drugs. Came out
Black?
after he was in there for about 10 years.
No, really.
After
This is
he
what
was
we're
there for
doing.
10
We're
years.
just gonna keep
After he
doing.
was
We're
there
just
for
gonna
10 years.
keep
And
saying the word black.
You know what he said? He said to me, he said, Dre, he said, the new hustle is preaching. Exact words he told me. And guess what? He's preaching in Atlanta with a big
Oh, my
congregation.
God.
Is it Creflo?
That's what he's doing.
Is it Creflo?
And guess what? He's getting banked.
And didn't they buy him a jet? Did they buy him a
That's
jet?
true. Yeah.
How do
What
you have the
think?
nerve to ask somebody for a jet?
Here's my problem with that, and I have a problem with that.
That's-
I do have a problem with that, and I'm gonna tell you why.
He needs to
I'm
preach
gonna
the word of
I'm
God,
gonna
though.
tell you why.
Maybe he does need it.
No. I'm gonna tell you why.
No, he don't need
Here's
it.
the
He
what.
don't- I need it.
Here's the what. And this is the difference. This is how you can tell whether you're dealing with someone who is serving God or serving themselves. When you look at a community of believers, if the most and the least in that congregation get the same treatment and can come to their congregation to have their needs fulfilled, because that's who we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be a community that fulfills the needs of each other.
I agree.
And see, in terms of what if you're going to gauge the hustle aspect, or if you're going to gauge what it is that is being done, there's no reason anyone in a community of believers where someone has a jet, no one should be hungry. If someone has a jet, no one should be in debt.
Amen.
If someone has a jet, no one should be without a job.
Hallelujah.
But do you understand what I'm saying? If we're in community with one another, then we're building one another, and that's the goal.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let
me interject this real quick. It's real fast.
Eat your raisins.
And that's how you get.
Another church. Hold on. It was another church. The people gave their money every month, every year. Came time, the gas was cut off. They went to the church, and this is a church here, and I'm not going to say any names. You know what the church told them? The church said, no, we cannot help you because we would have to help everybody else.
That's the point.
See?
That's the point.
They
See,
would not
We're starting a church.
where I serve, and I'm big up in my pastor because that's how I get down.
What kind of cars do you drive?
I go look outside.
What kind of cars does he drive?
Pretty much the
Yeah.
same. I mean, he's pretty
stuttering.
low key. But here's the thing: where I serve, I found myself in lack and was in need, and I was able to go to my community of believers and get help when I was in need. My kids went to school, and they sent my kids to school with gift cards, care packages, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? And they do it for all the kids that go to that church, because we set a precedence where we're not going to have, some people being with and some people being without, because in biblically, a community of believers is supposed to take care of one another. If you're supposed to be tithing and this, that, and the third, you tithe so that there's enough for everyone in the storehouse, and that's where we go.
Well, biblically, too, you're supposed to be seen and not spoken, being a woman.
Biblically speaking, there's
Yes.
also, let me give you this. Let me give you this. Who is the first person to tell them that Jesus rose?
It was a woman. That doesn't make her significant.
she was
a Paul Revere.
I'll tell you what.
Feel me?
So she was Paul Revere.
Preach on that.
Is Paul Revere the president? That's what she did. She Paul Revered the news.
Just remember my name. Feel that.
Let's get into you, Afrikan Caesar,
Carmen?
on what you do, your podcast show.
Yes, I do. You done? You want me to talk now?
Yeah, I want you to talk.
I didn't know if you were still leading in. Okay.
No, I don't have anything else positive to say on.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Motherfucker.
Wow.
This is a family oriented.
Right.
Really? Oh, there's a family? The Manson family. Anyway, I'm okay. So I'm Afrikan Caesar. Rashawn Bryan is my government name. Part of sneakerbardetroit.com. It's a sneaker blog. As a matter of fact, the 19th ranked sneaker blog in the world. Thank you. You can clap too if you want to.
Clap, clap, clap.
There you go. His hands are full of Raisinets. But we'll also do a podcast, a sneaker-based podcast. Sneakers have become a big thing. Like, it went from just an urban fad to now this global phenomenon. Like, everybody's wearing sneakers. I mean, in the inner city, in the suburbs. We were in Indiana, and we went to like this one little farmer's market, and like this old white dude was wearing some Jordans, and I was just like, wow, right? Like, so.
Did you take that picture that went viral?
No, I wish I did. I wish I could take half.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the guy waiting in line. So the whole culture is becoming real big. As of right now, without going into too much detail, there's an app being developed, and we're talking about being a part of that. But sneakers in general have become a huge thing, and it's given me the ability to not only be part of the website, write articles, write blog posts, but also do the podcast. We're getting like $20,000 a month. We've been doing it for almost a year, 57 episodes in. We got sponsors now. Got an actual studio. So sneakers started all this. You know, like sneakers are like the new. You know, back in the day, like you had your car, right? Hit it, wax it, and keep it clean, and all this other stuff, right? Your hot rod. Well, now sneakers are that. You know, it's hot rods, comics, now sneakers.
Where can people find you?
You can go, if you're looking for me specifically, you can go on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Afrikan Caesar. African with a K. Caesar spelled correctly, not C-E-A, it's C-A-E.
I noticed that a lot of you, the black people, use a lot of.
What are you?
Change the letters and the. I know. I don't. If it, you know.
He said that like he ain't
changed
read
I know, right?
the
Like,
wording.
a lot of you.
Change the wording a lot. But I want to go here. How this gentleman. I was raised on K-Swiss tennis shoes. Shout out to
man.
K-Swiss, California, USA.
I was gonna let you live on that.
Now, I like a white tennis shoe. I'm not into sneakers.
See how she laughing?
Now, this is what happened. I was out and
I'm about to call on them too.
I'm married and all that, but girls were talking to me, and I'm like, why do they want? What is it? And there's like, it's younger women as well, and they're like,
well, they're looking for that gay friend.
older guys. No. Guys their age, all they want to talk about are sneakers. So, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know sneakers was that popular. So when I met you, and I checked your website out, and again, I have no interest in sneakers at all.
Thank you.
It was very well produced, and it was an interesting show. And how people spend this much money on shoes and this and that, and he has a collection.
I can tell
of
you,
shoes.
my daughter is a sneakerhead.
Love
So
it.
I'm telling you, like she probably has about 35 pair of Jordans alone.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's just starting her collection.
That's cool.
Speaking of which,
And
I got to
don't wear it.
No, not at all.
She doesn't wear them?
No, she's collecting. She wears like 3 pair. There's 3 that she
Me and her
rotates.
gonna have to talk.
No, but I'm gonna tell you why, because you know what? She a hooper, and
Okay.
I gotta shout out my daughter. She just signed her letter of intent.
Wear your shoes, please.
Yay.
Wear your shoes.
She just signed her national letter of intent for University of Detroit Mercy. She will be a Lady Titan in
That's what's up.
2016.
But wear your shoes though. Like, wear your shoes. I got like
She follows
maybe.
a couple of different like websites and that. Do you do like when the new sneakers come out and
Yeah,
all
we
of
do the
that,
release
the
dates.
reviews and
Yep.
all of that? Yeah.
Yep. Got a couple of review videos out there.
Sweet.
But yeah, I mean, wear your shoes. I mean, you're gonna pay all that money. I mean, look, I put it like this. I wear my shoes, right?
Yeah.
I just recently sold a pair, worn and everything, $50 more than I paid at retail.
And that's what she'll do too. She'll resell them as well. She came up a couple of times. I was like,
Yeah, I'm just
"Oh."
saying.
How many pairs of shoes do you have?
I want to say probably close to 2, if not more.
Hey,
200.
African. Now, the
200.
one,
I'm not
pairs.
gonna knock that. I'm not gonna knock that. I collect boots
Now-
and
now-
stilettos.
now the
So I'm gonna go with
ones that
you know.
the ones that you sell, are they the ones that are out of circulation, or are they still ones that are in the
Good reason
store?
that's-
Well, in the case of Jordans, and I mean, pretty much now, unless they make so many pairs of them, most shoes sell
Right.
out that day. Like Jordans are going to
Okay.
sell out that day. So as far as it
Right.
being in circulation, I mean, if you ain't there early Saturday morning, they out of circulation. They might
They
do
done.
a restock every now
Or
and then.
unless you got like a hookup where somebody will sit one on the back shelf for you.
There you go. I mean, I've literally been places where they sold the shoes, and as soon as they said they were gone, like the guy that just bought the last pair is like, okay, like the retail is like 200.
He
He'd
like
be
Right.
yeah,
250.
he'd be like 400. And it's
Right.
like, what? Like,
Are you playing?
Will you get in trouble if you tell us?
Mm-hmm.
Will you get in trouble with your wife if you tell us the most that you've spent for a pair of shoes?
well, seeing that nobody outside the 3 of us or 4 of us will probably watch this video,
Hey,
I
dude,
don't have to worry about that.
seriously.
Here's what I would,
Hey, that hurt. That hurt, man.
I'm sorry.
That hurt.
That was more aimed at him. I'm sorry. Y'all were like collateral damage. It was more aimed at him. But
You see why I don't go to Detroit? That's it right there.
I'm looking under the table.
you know what? I take that as a source of pride.
I'm looking under the table for my face. I can't even.
Wow.
It's cracked on the ground.
I'm proud of that I actually make you not want to go to Detroit. That's a good thing for us. But having said that, the most I spent for a pair of shoes, probably like 5-ish. I have a rule. It's against my religion to pay too much money for some shoes, because at the end of the day, they go on my feet, right?
I'm not gonna say that.
Five-ish on what, Jordan?
It was a pair.
Five-ish on Jordan?
I spent that much because it was a pair of Jordans that I really wanted since like childhood. So like
Okay.
I wear a size 15. It is
You wear
so
what now?
hard.
Hold on. Press pause. You wear what now?
Size 15.
Say that into the microphone.
Wow.
Size 15. You know what that means? Big socks.
But you know what? I wear a size 16.
Really?
I wear a 16.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying.
I think
how
I'm gonna
difficult
I'm gonna
it
need a
is to
ruler.
find.
Nobody cares. We're gonna do that after the show. Look,
You got small hands though.
big hands, bro. Big hands.
No, bro. Why
Big,
you going? Why
big
you,
hands.
See,
you
you see
moving
what
up.
happens?
Big
Do you
hands.
see what
He
happens?
don't want to do it. You know why?
Hey,
'Cause my hands killing his.
Do you see what happens? You see what I just did
There's
there?
a reason why I wear baggy pants. But look, anyway, I
I
wear a
wear
size
tight
15.
pants. I want to. I
Well,
want to show.
I need
Wow.
room. I need room.
Shoes.
I need room.
Shoes.
Oh yeah, but the shoes. What we talking about again? Oh, okay. But I wear a size 15, right? So it's hard for me to find shoes in my size. So
Okay.
like now that I'm in this position, I get some shoes sent to me. I
Right.
got like connections
Okay, yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And that's why a lot of people migrate to my collection because I might not have the most exclusives or the most per se, but because of my size
Size
and the
range
limited
yourself,
ability
yeah.
it is, people
Right.
like give me that respect.
Awesome.
And I'm kind of like a voice for like big-footed people. I don't know about this dude, Mr. K Swiss right here, but no,
Hey, man,
no
hey,
men wear K
I
Swiss.
tried to get him out of them K
Listen,
Swiss. I'm telling you.
only men that wear K Swiss are male nurses and male cheerleaders. That's it.
Really?
That isn't even. That is the worst analogy.
No, that's not an analogy. That's
That's
a
about
fact.
right.
That's not an
That's
analogy.
about
That's a
right.
fact.
No, I tell you
I
what.
thought
we're
you were
have
gonna
to-
go with software geeks, but
I'll
it's
tell you
okay.
No, even they have enough pride.
Adidas.
Yeah, exactly.
They
They like
Adidas,
they wear some
right.
Stan
Okay,
Smiths.
All right, so I'm gonna go over here. We got to keep the show moving. Carmen, you know what time it is?
Yes, it's about that time. So I guess we are wrapping up and coming up. You can always come to see us at Full Circle.
No, I meant
What?
the time we're gonna do the apology.
That's what I
The
was
apology.
going to.
That's where you were going?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well,
Wow.
go on.
Take it easy.
I'm
Take
saying.
I'm
it
gonna
easy.
say it again.
I didn't.
And
Take it
stuff.
easy.
Don't be
Go
surprised
ahead,
if next
Carmen.
week this chair
You
is
might have
empty.
to. You might have to edit that. So we're going to wrap up the show, and you can always visit us at Full Circle Podcast Show, and all our info is going to be there. But before we get out of here, I'd like to see if there are any things that the sane poet would like to apologize for. This is a portion of our show that we're going to start using as like a little anchor to kind of like make everybody feel warm and fuzzy. That they haven't done the things this guy's done.
Oh, I like that.
Quiet-
You sound like
quiet
the lady
one.
on the Warriors. The Big Boppers, the Warriors. You don't remember that?
No.
No.
Come out and play.
There you go. I do want to apologize for something. I want to apologize to the girl that I took a sweet potato pie with whipped cream in the center and I pushed it in her face.
Wow.
Why would you ever do that?
Well,
Who does that?
But this is how it happened. We were dating. She says, "Hey, I'll make dinner. You bring dessert." I'm like, "Okay, great." She lived in the east side of Cleveland, and Baker Square, whatever places they were closed. So, I'm on the east side of Cleveland. All I see are rib joints, and I'm like, okay. They all sell sweet potato pie, and I'm like, all black people like sweet potato pie.
That's-
Here we go. Here we go.
No, I'm
Here
just.
we go.
So
I need him to stop Uncle Ruckusing right now.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
my
ahead.
God.
So
ahead.
I
Chicken,
go,
yes, sweet potato
I go
pie.
in there.
Go ahead.
Not only did I get a sweet potato pie, but I got it with whipped cream. That was
dude.
extra.
This dude, you extra.
So I get there, and we got into a major. Now, it's late. I'm nervous. I'm holding on to my wallet. I'm clutching the pearls. I was in an unsafe
Really?
area.
You wearing pearls?
I'm just,
No,
So
you know.
I was risking my life to get this pie.
Pie is
So
what
I
you're...
get to her place, and we got into this major argument. If you could believe that somebody would get in an argument with me.
He does-
So
I can see
You're
it. I've got
lovely.
many
So-
arguments.
It's hard to believe.
she goes, she tells me off, and at the end of it, she says, "And I don't like sweet potato pie." When she said that, I was hurt. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at the pie. I'm looking at her. I'm
Did
looking
you
at the
buy it
pie.
or did you make it?
He bought it.
I bought it.
He risked his life to buy it. Remember,
Yeah, I
he risked
forgot.
his whole life.
Yeah, his pearls and his.
So I took the pie and I hit her right in the face with it. And I apologize for that. I want to apologize. It was very
Wow.
uncalled for. I'm walking out I left.
That had to bother you for a long time.
No, well, I was laughing actually because I was happy at the time to do it.
Wow.
But when I got to the end of the
That's not
driveway, I
nice.
was like,
That
you know
is-
what, that was wrong.
that's not
That was
nice.
wrong to do. So I went back and I was trying to apologize, but she wouldn't let me back in the house.
Yeah, I
No,
might go
wow,
with no.
really?
Yeah, no.
She said I was
I
crazy.
don't know why she would act that
That's
way.
kind of bad.
You need to apologize for tucking in that shirt, but go ahead.
Afrikan Caesar, as a guest on the show, is there anything that you'd like to apologize for? If you had an apology, what
Yeah, I
would
like
it be
to
for?
apologize. I like to apologize for being so forthright and blunt. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I had this conversation about religion, and I had actually a family member of mine who got pregnant, happened to be a pastor's daughter, and I put her on blast basically on Facebook, not because she got pregnant, was that everybody was jovial about it.
Huh.
Like, for like 5 minutes they were upset. Then after that they spent the rest of the 9 months like, oh yeah, let's celebrate. And I was like, okay, so if I went and smoked weed, would y'all celebrate that? Like, okay, so one sin is worth celebrating than the other. So anyway,
I'm gonna put a pin in that. I might.
yeah, I made a status and everything, and everybody got all pissy and stuff. And I apologize. In fact, I'm apologizing to myself because I apologize.
That's not how this
No,
goes.
listen. It didn't. What is the stipulation?
It's full circle.
There you go. I apologize to myself because I was forced to apologize to them. Like, people come to me and guilt me into apologizing. But the thing was, I was right. And the bad part was, they weren't mad that I was wrong or that I said something wrong. They were mad because I was the one that said it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you know what? I apologize to myself, right? I apologize to
vanity,
myself.
going back to religion.
Look,
Oh, my God.
look,
Vanity.
clutch necklace, clutch pearls, you stayed over there, right?
Dude.
I apologize to myself for being forced to make a fake apology for something I did right. So I apologize to myself.
And my grandmother gave me this bead dress.
Hey, Whit, you know what? I think that's
Was she
gonna
so
do
telling the
it. I think that's gonna do it for us tonight.
Wow.
From Carmen Miller.
For me,
Clutch
my
pearls.
sign off is you have an opinion, use it. Kumbaya is not always the way.
Oh my God.
What you got, A-Whip?
My sign off is I had a great time with you guys. This is my sign off, and hopefully this will get better and greater as we go along.
Fantastic. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. You can reach us at the Full Circle Podcast Show. You can also email us any kind of questions or comments at the Full Circle Podcast Show at gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. Make sure you like our page. And
So before I leave you guys, what do you got going on this weekend, A-Whit?
Really, I might go downtown and check out some restaurants in Chicago. I'm here. I might as well, make the best of it and get ready for the holiday.
Same
Get ready to
poet.
come home.
How about you?
I'm working on a screenplay. So I'll be working on that, finishing that, and just taking it easy.
I will be playing in Toledo at the Pop Grill on Friday night. And you can check me out at www.carmenmillermusic.com. Afrikan Caesar, thank you so much. You are the bomb.
Thank you. I love y'all show.
Small bomb.
Much success to y'all. I hope everything grows from here. Check out the Sneaker Box Podcast, iTunes, Android, and SneakerBarDetroit.
It's been Full Circle. See you
Appreciate
later.
it. Appreciate it, Africa.
Crime,
Let's get it together.
education,
Let's get it together.
marriage,
Let's get it together.
politics,
Let's get it together. Full circle.
poverty,
Let's get it together.
race,
Let's get it together. Full circle.